Lawona Mse.
Oh, he's back.
Move way.
Clover Fresh Milk.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and yes, indeed, we still have Sassy Cakes with us, or Sassy Bakes, rather. I'm just going crazy over her cakes because, trust me, Mzansi, from the top of the show up until now, we've just been creating magic with you. So next, we have got a caramel butter cake that I'm excited for.
Oh, fantastic. So I'm excited to make it and to show you how to do it.
Okay, so when it comes to whipping this up together, I know we almost have the similar type of mixtures that we have been running with when it comes to just the actual cake batter. And I know before the break, we used dates when it comes to that caramelization and the brown sugar. Is that just something we're going to see being mirrored here?
No. This one
like
is a bit different, honey.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, this time around, we're going to use the butter and we're actually going to melt it in the pot.
Okay.
So completely different type of recipe. But this is going to, this caramel cake is nice and moist. You know, you can taste the butter and the caramel and you taste you can taste everything.
I'm telling you, I'm salivating already, getting excited for it. So as you put that in, the heat on your pot, how hot must it be?
Okay, so we're first going to start on a slightly lower heat.
Okay.
Right, so let's get that on.
So in essence, you're just melting the butter.
We're just
not
melting the butter.
cooking anything off.
Yeah, there we
Perfect.
go. Okay, then we're going to use hot water.
Okay.
1 cup of hot water. You're going to pour it over your butter, okay? And what we're going to do now is try to melt the butter. You can use your spatula and just move it around a little bit, play with it.
And that hot water, is it just to help exacerbate the melting of the batter?
The melting process.
Quicken
Now
it
we
up?
can do it a little bit higher.
Okay, because you don't want to burn the butter. If you just put the butter in there, it'll eventually...
It will caramelize, yeah.
Okay.
So we want a nice liquid form, but
Sassy,
no burnt butter this time.
Love that. No burnt butter
No,
this
not
time.
this time. Not this
Never
time.
burnt butter.
No.
But when it comes to what you're creating now within that pot, what is it and what factor or role will it play in the end product?
Because what we're going to do is it will give the texture of the cake a smoother consistency, because now you're not going to actually taste that, you know, the crunchiness of the sugar.
Absolutely.
Brown sugar can also has a tendency of being very coarse on the tongue if you don't blend it properly. So that's also something that you need to realize. It's not like baking with caster sugar or white sugar. That actually dissolves much quicker.
Yeah,
Okay.
the granules are big. Okay, so whilst you're melting down that mixture, what can we get started with here, and what other ingredients do we find within this recipe?
Okay, so this recipe also, always the main ingredient. The main ingredient is always eggs.
Okay.
Whether we like it or not, just make sure that always, this is also very important, when you crack your egg, try to always smell it first. Maybe put it in a separate container and then, you know, incorporate it into your mixture.
Okay.
Because the last thing that you want is a rotten egg.
Yeah, no.
Okay?
To spoil the mixture.
It smells for days.
All right, and I hear you talking about eggs, Sassy, but like what is the purpose of the eggs in baking, actually? What purpose do they serve whenever we're baking?
You know, the eggs is the mediator between the butter and the sugar and the flour.
Okay.
That's what puts it all together.
Okay.
Right? So eggs it's very seldom that you can actually bake something without eggs, unless you substitute it. Maybe you can do it with, you know, with buttermilk or something like that, or sour cream. You know, add a little bit more, because you get a lot of people who actually that's allergic to eggs or don't eat eggs, depending on.
So we see it here playing the role of a binding agent, a leveling agent, something that essentially is the glue that holds
The combination.
it together.
There we go.
I love it. How's it going there by the pot?
Fantastic. So if you can have a look, we're going to make it a little higher. And when I'm saying a roaring boil, I want everybody to just have a look and see this is what we mean by a roaring boil.
Okay.
Right? It's nice and beautiful all around. This is the time when you're now going to switch off everything. If I can get it to switch off. There we go.
Yeah,
fantastic. Okay. And we're going to put it aside after we've given it a nice stir. And we're going to end up with this beautiful consistency.
So you let it just cool on its own?
You let it cool on its own, bearing in mind, when you're going to leave something like this in the pot, okay, it's going to have a crust on the top.
Okay.
So you need to intermittently just use your whisk, use your spoon, and just move it around every so often.
Okay.
So you don't have to be like one of the people that's going to stand the holder and do this until it's cold. You're going to be there forever, darling, and you risk.
I love that.
So this is the consistency that we're looking at.
Okay, so this serves as the caramel part of our caramel cake, right?
There we go.
Perfect. Okay, so what now?
So everything is incorporated. The butter's there.
Okay.
The flour is ready. We've done the flour bit.
Okay. So what
You've
we
also sifted the flour.
Yes.
Same procedure applies. And then your eggs. So now we're going to use your eggs, one at a time.
Okay.
And put it into this bowl.
Okay. And what are we doing? Are we scrambling the eggs? Are we?
Oh, no. We're not going to scramble it, darling. Not breakfast yet. Just whisk your eggs a little bit for me.
Perfect.
Like that. Super simple.
Okay.
Okay. Then you're going to get your sour cream in.
Sour cream. All right, and in place of the sour cream, would you be able to use something else, or is it specific to sour cream? Is this recipe?
You can also use buttermilk as well.
Okay.
If you'd like. You
And
can use
if I've got
buttermilk. Or you can do yogurt. Yeah, a must. Buttermilk. Perfect.
Perfect. All right, and we fully incorporated, or do we also leave some specks of sour cream here and there?
Yeah, we just let it. There we go. You're on the right path there.
Yeah.
On the right path.
Starting to look like a thick custard, basically.
It does, eh?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And your recipes, how adventurous do you go? Are you quite traditional? I know you were speaking about
Very.
age-old traditional type recipes that you grew up with.
So we do the traditional with a bit of twist.
Okay.
But then I've got a very adventurous palate. I love playing around with flavors.
Yeah.
I do rose and cardamom cake.
Oh.
I do pistachio and almond, roasted coconut. I've also created like a beautiful roasted coconut lamington.
Wow, that sounds
Dipped
divine.
in a caramel sauce. Something so that's what I do. I play around with flavors. I always, because I want people to also, try the new.
Try something out that's new and essentially be adventurous is what it's all about. And here's this vanilla essence going in again.
There we go, fantastic. Our vanilla and also our caramel essence. We're going to whisk that through beautifully.
Wow, smells delicious.
Yeah, just those smells, Bali. It smells so awesome. Ooh, okay.
Now, ladies, we've got our salt, our bicarbonate of soda, and our baking powder. Okay. Let's put it all in together.
All into the drying ingredients.
Dry.
There we go. Into the flour.
Okay.
We're going to whisk it. Okay, honey, I've already used my whisk there. Naughty me. So I'm cheating. Don't do this. Don't do this, don't. Use your whisk. Okay,
perfect.
Fantastic. We've got that. Okay, and now we're going to incorporate everything into this mixture, or other way around, whichever, watch a bigger bowl.
Okay, so we're putting the caramel liquid mixture into the sour cream and egg mixture.
100%.
And this is, I guess, what you were talking about cooling the mixture down, because if it was still hot...
We're going to be sitting with scrambled eggs with a nice caramelization.
Caramelized scrambled eggs, basically. Okay, perfect. So we mix this all together. It actually is already looking like a caramel sauce.
How does it smell? How does it smell?
Divine.
It smells like heaven. Smells great. Okay, perfect.
And now we use your spoon and gradually also start adding your flour. You can use your whisk, a wooden spoon, a spatula. Just make sure that you are gentle.
Oh,
okay?
gentle.
Yeah.
Not too excited.
So
for
that
me.
you
Let's
can
calm down.
incorporate everything beautifully.
Okay.
And you can see the reason why I prefer a whisk is because then you can actually see where all the clots are. And then just go in with a spatula afterward.
Okay. 100%. And then you just keep going a little bit at a time.
You just keep going.
Okay. So in essence, you're giving people the base of the cakes, and they can just add their own flavor however they'd like.
There we go. And that's how I came up with so many different recipes.
Okay.
As I will take from the one, try the other one, and add some this, take out, and
that's what cooking and baking is all about, I guess, just being adventurous.
Yes, and you need to experiment. Also, I mean, you need to have a little bit of money to waste if you want to experiment. So I'm doing all the experimentation for everyone.
On our behalf, honey, amen, because we just got out of the month of January, and I promise you, that was 3 months long on its own. So I'm just so glad that we've got people like you. Take the risk for us in the pocket. Be adventurous as much as you want. Then by the time you come to us with these incredible recipes
and
that
ready
win
for action.
every time, ready for action.
Perfect.
Okay,
This on its
perfect.
own, I mean, if we look at the two cakes that we did earlier, this even looks like caramel in color.
Yeah, it
I mean,
does.
you can smell the
You can
caramel.
smell it, you can- there we
You
go.
can see the caramel actually in it.
So this is what I always try to do. You name the cake, you know, with whatever ingredient is your star ingredient,
Ah, okay.
right? So if I say caramel, you can smell the caramel. When we said dates, you could smell that date was permeating through the
Yeah.
room and just making it, you could smell that nice boiling dates. It's just...
So there are
I
no
love-
surprises
I love
now.
the
We
taste
know
of
what to
dates.
expect.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Beautiful.
So this is, in essence, the same consistency we want with our previous cakes. You don't want it to be too thick. You want it to be nice and runny so you can pour it into the
There we go.
baking tray. Okay, perfect. And the first two cakes we baked, you said it's 180 degrees.
That's
for
right.
The last one was 45 minutes. This one would be how long?
This one should also be about, you can wing it, always check your cake maybe at 40 minutes.
Okay.
Because of the pan, the size of the pan. Check it for 40 minutes.
So would you say
So-
the bigger the pan, the longer it would take?
Yes.
Okay.
No, the bigger the pan, the shorter time it will take to bake.
Because
bigger
The
the
smaller the pan, the
Because there's
longer.
more volume in
There
there.
we go.
Love that. This is delicious. We are already piped up, ready to go, ready for action. That gets popped into the oven. But after the break, this is where it all goes down. And that's essentially how we get them looking this perfect. Sassy Bakes type perfect. And that's the decorating, right?
Hey, are you excited about decorating?
That's the fun part, girl. I'm always excited. Mzansi, see you after the break.